Hi, I'm John Twist of University Motors. Today I'm working on a Triumph. Go figure. So here's this nice TR6, made in April 1975. It could run better, so I'm doing a tune-up, and a tune-up is a function, as always, of 4 individual sections. Emissions, as great or as slight as they are, engine, ignition, and carburation. So the Triumph's pretty easy to work on. This is pretty nice. I've started on this side here, and let me just show you some stuff that I found on this particular model. You know, we hadn't seen it before, so I took the spark plugs out to check the compression. 2 of the plugs were loose. Interesting. Then I have NGK plugs here. NGK, Japanese plugs, right? BP6ES. Well, these are the same as Champion N8Y. Well, this one's supposed to take an N12Y, so it's a good thing I cross-referenced it. You can never trust what's in the car as being correct. So, so we've got spark plugs that are too cold to start off with. Then we take a look at the plugs just to see what we might find here, and we'll see that the front 3, which are in my left hand, or your right, these guys, these were the front 3. You can see that these are all pretty dark, real carbony and everything. Then the ones in back, they're a little lighter. There's a little bit of porcelain here that shows on some of them. They aren't quite so dark, which means that there's a mismatch between the front carburetor and the rear carburetor. Right, so we're just looking for stuff that we might notice. So I got Mike, our parts guy, to get me the proper N12Y spark plugs, which will gap today at 35 thousandths, not 25 like the workshop manual says. Then we're looking at other stuff. So I got the coil here, and I noticed that there's a distributor on here with a Pertronix ignition, which is put together by Jeff Schlemmer at Advanced Distributors, Minnesota. Nice looking distributor. And I take a look at the coil, and I think, I wonder if this is the right coil. It says 3.0 ohms. But if we look at our power wire that goes to the coil, here we've got our wire here, which has got the odd kind of insulation on it. This is a resistor wire. So this is only producing about 6 volts while the car is running. It takes a 1.5 ohm coil, not a 3 ohm coil. So by having a 3 ohm coil, the spark that we're getting out of the coil is too little. Okay? You can have the opposite problem and run the wrong coil with a 12 volt system and end up with too much of a spark, but here we haven't got enough of a spark. Interesting. So I went ahead and checked the compression on each one of the cylinders, and right now they're all lying around 125, 130, but this cylinder, let me check my notes here, this cylinder is only 100 pounds here. So we're going to have to return to this to get our compression figure up to a point where all the cylinders are in fact consistent, or we're not going to have even running. There was some remnants of the old pollution system left in place, and I'm right in the process right now of removing some of this stuff. Remember that on the Triumphs, these kinds of fittings are American pipe thread, whereas on MGs, they're British pipe thread. This guy's a 1/2 inch NPT, and this guy's a 3/4 16, an American size. So we have yet to get the compression consistent by adjusting the rockers and get the right plugs in there and get this guy hooked back up. Let me show you a really cool thing that I did with the cap. For those of us in the trade, we know which wire is supposed to go to which cylinder. But instead of having these masking tape notes on here, which looks, well, less than pretty, look at this, huh? 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. I put this right on the cap, which of course you can't see all of them, but you can see most of them when the cap's in place, and that'll give you a clue as to where they go. We're going to be working on this tune-up for the rest of today and tomorrow. I want to encourage everybody to attend Carlisle, the import car show in Carlisle on the weekend of May 21st. And after that is the big event in Reno. And I want to make an announcement too that the British Motor Trade Association, which is about a 100 members strong organization, 10 years old, which comprises all the parts suppliers and the workshops and the magazines and the event guys, everyone who's involved, manufacturers. We're having our annual meeting at Sports Car Craftsman in Denver, Colorado next year, February. And if you are in the greater Denver area and you want to come meet some of the people, you know, some of the names and personalities from the British car trade, boy, that'll be the place to go. Pretty soon Paul Deershaw at Sports Car Craftsman will have the information, and it isn't until next year, February, so it is quite some time off. And on Tuesday, we'll let you know how this TR6 came out.